everybody, and welcome to another trading analytics video. I'm Trade Runner, and today, man, oh man, the ticker of the day, or ticker of the week, actually, and that's Tesla. Tesla had itself a monster morning on some delivery and estimated production news. But before we get into that, if you guys haven't already, if you enjoyed this type of content, like and subscribe to this channel. It really helps us out a ton. Now let's get right back to the content here. So looking at Tesla here on the chart, we had a massive breakout over the last few days. As you can see here, if you look at the daily trend line, we broke through out of this inverted head and shoulders pattern here, right through a risk level at 179. We got a nice little bounce from the 167 support zone, which ideally would have been a great place to load up on some long calls, about 2-3 weeks dated out. You would have made a killing had you loaded up on the calls here and then retested the support. But once we broke through this trend line here, this trend line resistance coupled with the support at 179, it was a rocket ship from there. Went all the way up to the 205 level. And as we saw today, we broke from 205 all the way up to 230. So what happens next on the ticker? Well, there's a lot of things going on here. And actually, before we get into that, you can see that understanding that Tesla trades in, as my colleague Ace of Trades likes to say, trades in zones. As you can see here, we in our 10K challenge gave our Tesla alert that ended up doing over 500% intraday, right? It was insane. Not to mention the Tesla swing that he gave it out a few last week that just went gangbusters, right? But as he always says, Tesla trades in zones. So you can see here we broke out of that 179 to 205 zone, and now we're pretty much in a breakout territory that we haven't seen since the end of 2023, right? So if you look here at the top of the chart, you see I have the end of year 2023 rejection level. This is where we had our fall to close out December of last year, and Tesla had its massive basically been beat down every week since then, right? Now, what happened? Well, prior to that, we had our massive run up in the lead up to the Cybertruck rollout back in November. Saw a nice bit of support and resistance bounces there, but we're in uncharted territory for the year 2024. Tesla, as long as Elon Musk continues to be having some positive press surrounding the company, and he's not doing anything that's going to cause any drastic shifts in the overall market landscape, there's a very strong likelihood that Tesla will retest this end of year 2023 rejection level at 263. That would also coincide with a very strong double top zone. So it's a pretty heavy resistance level, and if we break through that, then we can really retest the next zone at 279, which would be a $100 move from the lows last week, right? And as you can see with Tesla, anything is possible. We just had a $24 day to start right out the open, right shortly after the bell. It's interesting too, because you see things like the Fed is pretty much, they didn't come out and outright say it, but they're heavily hinting that we're not gonna get any rate cuts this year. And since Tesla's a very rate dependent ticker, you would think that would have affected the overall news and the overall performance of it. However, you can see now the entire market has been rip roaring, and the Mag 7 has been leading the way, with Tesla being a major catalyst for that as well. So this is what I think will happen. Now, obviously, just being charted on the daily, so it's not going to happen tomorrow. But should the positive momentum on this ticker continue to go, then I do think it is a very strong likelihood that we're going to retest the rejection level that we had at the end of the year around 264. So as long as that holds and these bullish patterns play out, that we get the full-on continuation of the inverted head and shoulders, we'll be in good shape. Now, I do think that before we run up here to 263, it's not going to be a straight line, right? I don't think it's going to be a straight line. I think it's very likely that we'll get a bit of a break and retest. So we broke through this 205 zone here. I think it's a pretty solid chance that we'll retest this breakout zone. And if that holds as a strong support, then we'll bounce up, and that will take us towards that 264 level in a reasonable amount of time. So that's what I got on Tesla. Again, like I said, we played this ticker twice in the last week and a half, and you can see the results here on the screen. They speak for themselves. It's been a monster play. And then just take a look at some of the testimonials from our 10K challenge. It's been such a fun ride so far, and we're getting ready to start another one. Or we actually did start another one on the first. So it's a lot of fun. But there's another ticker I want to talk about here before we kind of close this video, and this will be pretty quick. And this is actually one of my favorite tickers, and this is JPM. And what we're going to look at here is the weekly chart. And you're like, why? Oh, Trade Runner, why are you looking at the weekly chart? What's going on here? Why is it different than the daily that you're looking at with Tesla or the 4-hour chart that you usually chart things out on the 1 hour. Well, look at this here. We have a pretty consistent pattern of JPM, but dating back to February of 2018, tapping this trend line, rejecting, tapping this trend line, rejecting, tapping this trend line, rejecting, tapping this trend line, rejecting. And it's been a very long time since we actually got close to this weekly trend line. And we are very, very near, about $3 away from that zone with JPM's ER on Friday of next week. So we got a lot of interesting things going on for the overall banking sector. And as you guys know, you guys maybe have heard or seen some of my bank shorts that I've done post earnings. I do think this is leading up to be potentially a big one, right? A major one. In particular, because I think that this trend line resistance here, I think we're going to get a rejection. Coupled with the fact that, like I said a few minutes ago regarding Tesla, that the Fed is not going to be looking to cut rates anytime soon. I think that's going to drive the overall value of these bank tickers down. Now, we've seen an increase, there's an overall increase in the total US market as we lead up to the election. This is election year. You know that the Fed never wants to kill the market during election year for various reasons. But I do think that it is a very, very strong likelihood that we get this trend line tap after this breakout from this 200 zone, which is previous resistance, which is an all-time high number, a huge psych number for JPM stock or shareholders, that we're going to get this rejection from this trend line, and it's going to look to retest that $200 zone. So something I'm eyeing very, very heavily is a bank short closer to JPM's earnings to put us back down towards that zone, that breakout area. And that has some major multi-bagger potential. So that's something I'm eyeing very, very heavily. Again, I want to keep this video pretty short and concise. I know I can ramble on a little bit, but I wanted to also remind you guys again, if you enjoy this type of content, hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton, helps us out greatly. And if you guys are interested in seeing what we got going on in that account challenge that I mentioned, that $1,000, $10,000 challenge, which you guys can see here again, here's some of the testimonies for some of the members who are participating in that challenge. It's been going swimmingly. We're already almost done with the first one, which will probably look to take that $10,000 to a $25,000 challenge. But we have also started a secondary $1,000, $10,000 account challenge for those who are just joining, who didn't get a chance to participate in the first one, or who are new to the server and want to kind of grow their ports in a fun and exciting way with some traders who I would say know what we're doing. But in any case, I've been Trade Runner. This is Trading Analytics. Thanks for watching.